Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here. Thank you so much for taking a listen to Together We Seek. Today we're talking about angels. I love angels, and I have Sue Elliott with me today. And not only is she an author, but she has been working in the ancient realm for some time now. Hello, Sue.
Hello.
Tell me a little bit about how you describe angels to people.
Oh gosh. So angels are always with us, legions of angels we have available to us all the time. They're infinite beings, so they can help everybody simultaneously. Asking for their help does not in any way stop them from helping other people. And in my experience, they are the ones who orchestrate divine perfect timing,
Mm.
divine intent. They know everything we desire. They know where we are on our journey, and they're always providing that loving guidance and support to help us take the next step.
That is beautiful. So, is your belief, or one of your beliefs, because I'm sure you have many, that we have the opportunity to be an angel after we cross back over to the light?
That is such an interesting question. I've never been asked that. Yay. So let me ask the angels. Okay, so they say many of your listeners are angels, have been. Some are simultaneously right now. So many of us have multiple life threads going at the same time. And of course, time is an illusion and we could get it down that rabbit hole, but we don't need to. But they want people to know that many of us have been on this planet as angels. And in this lifetime, we chose to incarnate in physical form so that more people could see us and hear us. So that's my experience. The angels I work with are soul family for me. We've been together for millennia.
I love this. And many people that have come on the Together We Seek podcast have the ability to talk to angels and other energies that may not be visible to all of us just with the human eye. So I think that is so beautiful. How did you know you could talk to the angels?
Mostly they started talking to me and they wouldn't be quiet until I delivered whatever message they wanted me to share. So the first time it was very intrusive. I was out with a group of girlfriends, and one of the women who I didn't really know said something about I can't afford whatever it was she was talking about. And all I heard was, tell her never to say that again, over and over, until I finally interrupted the conversation that all these people were having and grabbed her hands and said, please don't ever say I can't afford again. And she looked at me like I was crazy, and I felt like I was crazy. And it got less awkward after that.
That is very exciting. For anyone listening, you can put it in the chat on YouTube or you can message us from the podcast platforms. But I get those messages too. Like I'll be in the metro parks and I will be guided to tell somebody something or invite someone to something. And my initial reaction is always no. No, I'm not doing that. And do you know what? I end up doing it because they are really busy sharing me. Please do this. You have to do this. Like they just keep telling me until I do it. It's very funny. And then I do it. And of course, it's very serendipitous.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're incredibly persistent. Although there are times where they will back off. Like they know all the surrounding situation and where we are, like how our emotional state in the moment. But they want to say that everybody listening to this podcast also has been an earth angel. Like you've delivered messages for the angels, whether you knew it or not. And sometimes something really weird will come out of my mouth and I'm like, why did I say that crazy thing? And they're like, because we told you to. Okay.
I can understand that. I am always thinking I'm a vessel or a channel, and I love it. And honestly, I've been able to help a lot of people that have called me for one-on-one sessions to just give them insight because I literally just tell them what comes to me. And it's funny because sometimes, and I even do this when I keynote, when I speak on stage, I don't always remember what I talk about. And so people will follow up later and say, oh my goodness, this is what you said, and da da da. And I'm like, great.
Thanks for telling me what I said. Yes.
But it's quite a blessing. I think it's such a blessing to be open enough to hear that. So when you started to hear that, how long did it take before you really started honoring that in a way that was part of your life?
That's a great question. So at the time I started hearing it, I'm pretty sure I was still a spokesperson for the automotive aftermarket. So I had been a car magazine editor for 20 some years, and I was literally doing this kind of stuff, telling people why they would want to make their car or truck more comfortable and convenient, more attractive, more fun. And so the angels laugh because they were training me to be a spokesperson for the angels. But it was a while before I came out of the angel closet. Even when I was doing the coaching, I didn't know how to describe what I was doing. The angels trained me to do what I call angel coaching, where they would give me questions to ask or tell me what example to share, what story to share. And they trained me to do that by sitting me actually in restaurants, at the bar at a restaurant, next to somebody going through a major life decision. And I would hear these questions and I would say the question and the person would like have an epiphany. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so pretty soon I started doing one-on-one coaching with people. And I never knew what to call it until years later when my client said, I tell people you're my angel coach. I'm like, that's the perfect thing to call it.
That is so beautiful. And when that happened, being a professional for so long, you had been in automotive and then you started your own magazine. Did you have some hesitation about sharing that language with people that you've known for a long time?
It depended on the person, for sure. So I had the background doing automotive magazines, and then I did chef recipe food magazines. And while I was doing that, I started a personal transformation magazine. So I'd been on this journey on and off in this lifetime by that time. But it took years before I used the word angel on LinkedIn. I mean, I would describe myself as an executive coach because I realized that all my clients, or almost all, darn near all, either owned their own business or were a leader of a larger organization. And so I was like, well, I could reach people on LinkedIn, but I wasn't going to say, hey, want to hear what the angels have to say? It took me many more years before I came out of the angel closet to everybody.
And a lot of us, I feel like, at least the people that have made their way to these conversations, often have tests or crossroads that happen that either push them more into their gifts or create a detour for them to develop their gifts more deeply.
Mine was a little bit more like a treasure hunt. So I would be sitting with somebody and feel inspired or guided to do something. And words would come out of my mouth. Like I remember sitting in, one of my ad sales guys' offices, and he was asking me for help with something, coaching help. And the words came out of my mouth, well, let's balance and adjust your chakras. And I was like, we can do that. Next thing I know, I have him stand up and I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, apparently we can do that. So it was kind of this, when they needed me to do something new, they would just guide me to do it. And so, one day I'm cord cutting, the next day I'm doing chakras, the next day I'm resetting somebody's nervous system. And I'm like, okay, apparently I can do these things. And of course, it's not me, it's them doing these things through me. So, yeah.
That is amazing. And so were there nights where you're like falling asleep or waking up being like, this is crazy?
Oh, yeah, sure. And still, like, there are still those moments where I'm the, Ivy League school, really smart, figure things out person going, what is that crazy stuff coming out of your mouth? So there's still those, I won't say multiple personalities, but different aspects of Sue who show up in different situations. And yeah, there are still many days where I'm like, I can't believe I really do this. And there are many days where I'm like, I can't believe I get paid to do this. How cool is that?
That is cool. And I want to talk about your new book. But before we jump into your new book, what are some of the things that you do to keep yourself grounded, to fill yourself up, to make sure your frequency is at a level that you can connect to the angels?
So the good news is I can connect to the angels no matter what. So literally they've been like sawing asphalt outside my office all day today. And I was like ready to pull my hair out, and we come on and I'm like, no problem. I can connect to the angels. I could be totally frazzled. So thank you. Thank you that's part of my gift. And every time I go outside, I'm like petting the lamb's ears. I'm, rubbing the holly plant and the Japanese maple. Like I'm literally grounding through plants in my yard. And because I love them. So it brings me joy. I'm very inner child dominant. So all those things that feel playful, and bring me joy are very therapeutic for me. If I'm really in a bad way, I may watch a funny goat video, but I also am doing things to clear the space, right? So on the days that I'm really struggling, I'm asking the angels to fill my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, my home, my neighborhood with divine love. So the angels are suggesting we all can do that, right? If we're going to go somewhere challenging, if you have to go to the DMV or you're getting on an airplane, like ask the angels to fill it with the energy of divine unconditional love. There is nothing more supportive for us than that. And they're always happy to do it for us.
Such a great tip. Such a great tip. So before you go to something that's challenging or something that you perceive as maybe something you don't want to do or something you have to do, fill that maybe journey and that location or destination with the light of the angels.
So divine light, divine love. We can also fill it with the truth of ourselves. So they love to do that. The truth of ourselves is, our essence, the part of us that's consistent lifetime after lifetime. And that's also super energetically supportive for us. It's like showing up and being held by our higher selves. So
I love that. These are just such great reminders, Sue. And I love the fact that you've taken the time to write some of the messages down. Can you tell us about your book, My Angel Coach?
Sure. So about 2 years ago, I started retiring from private coaching.
Yeah.
So it was tapering off, right? At one point I could do 3 sessions a day, and then I could do 2, and then I could do 1. And finally the angels were like, okay, it's time to put it all in a book now. Because I'd been doing it for almost 20 years at that point. So we had lots and lots of examples, lots and lots of experience seeing what really worked for people, what made it an instant shift. And the angels are super good at making things simple. So the book has 63 messages. Each starts with what I call an angel attunement, because one of the things the angels I work with love to do and are here to do for humanity is dissolve subconscious programming, limiting beliefs, the rules we made for ourselves when we were 2 years old that made perfect sense to a 2-year-old, right? All that stuff that gets in the way of us flourishing in every area of life. So the book actually will do a lot of the work for you, which is one of my favorite things about it. And clients who've worked with me a long time say it feels like hanging out with me. It's very conversational. All those years of writing about cars made my writing very approachable, let's say.
And there's something different about writing it down. I've just finished my 4th book, and I would say that a lot of my books are channeled. Definitely. There's no way I could come up with all this data myself and the way it's supposed to be laid out so that it's easily understood. And so what did you learn about yourself writing My Angel Coach?
Ooh, I love that. Well, the good news is they had been training me again for years, like doing Law of Attraction magazine, the personal transformation magazine I started channeling writing, right? I would just sit down and take divine dictation, I call it. And so this book was kind of half that and half, they would say, share this story. And they wouldn't tell me how to say it. They would just say, okay, and then insert this story here. So a lot of the examples, I thought I would share all these examples from all those years of coaching, and almost all the examples are about me. They were like, okay, and now you get to get over yourself, right? Nobody is going to think that you are this perfect person up on a pedestal. We're going to share all your dirty laundry. We're opening all the closets, letting all the skeletons out. But I think that also makes the book more approachable, right? And I had to learn to let go of weird things, right? Because I had almost 30 years of publishing experience, and I needed to self-publish this so that the angels and I could control every image and every word, because they're very energetically sensitive. I had to get over all my biases against self-publishing. I had to get over all my beliefs that I couldn't be a designer because I was always an editorial director or, a content creator. And I worked with amazing art directors and designers. And then I had to design my own cover because the people I had hired as part of the package to do that, the angels made it so laughably bad, like so exactly the opposite of what I wanted, that I had to do it myself. And then when I did it, it was hilarious because I went through hundreds of images to find the one that had the right energy. There's no way anybody else could have done it. And then I was like, oh, I am a pretty good designer. I have been doing this professionally for 30 plus years. Right. I have maybe more experience than the people right out of school at the company I was trying to work with.
That's beautiful. And I can relate to so many of your stories. And I feel like I am up against some of the same things with my own book. Like they don't want things changed. Like they're really adamant. Like, no, that chapter is that chapter. Like we are not changing it. So it's so different than what the 3D wants to do all the time. They're like, well, that's too long or that's too short or that's got to be different. And I'm like, yeah, I can't change it. It's not going to fit. And energetically, I think books hold an energy, and that is the truth. And when you allow yourself to work in conjunction with the universe, it really is magnetic for the people that need the message.
Yes. Yes. You just gave me a huge wave of goosebumps, which for me is the angels going, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing that's been fun is I swear I get more thrill out of somebody handing me $30 cash for a book than almost anything I've ever been paid for in my life. You know, and I obviously done projects that were tens of thousands of dollars. And yet there's something about they want my baby. They want like this piece of my heart. And then when people share that they're doing the practices and it's making a difference, it makes my heart sing.
Well, would you love to share something from the book or a practice or something that really is resonating with you?
Sure. So we've been sharing everything, but I'm so one of the things you can do with the book is use it as a divination tool. So you can read it like a regular book, or a lot of people like to read a chapter a day and like deepen into it. But you can also just say, angels, what would you like me to know? And let it open to a random page. And so we opened up to dissolving gunk, one of my favorite images, where they're cleaning the glass for us. So they want to say that we see the world through filters, the filters of our belief systems, our experiences, our culture. So the book will clean gunk, but what they really want me to share right now is from the receiving your divine guidance part of the book, which is that most of our guidance comes through our body because our body does not have those filters. So our mind has filters. It's always making us right. Your subconscious is going to reinforce whatever you believe, but our body will give us the unfiltered truth of the moment. So if something makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or something gives you goosebumps, if something feels like it just took the wind out of your sails, or you notice like, oh, wow, I just want to curl up in the fetal position, and rock back and forth. Like this is your divine guidance. This is your body telling you very clearly, yes to this, no to that thing you were just thinking. That's a no way. So one of the challenges for light workers historically has been being in our body. And one of the challenges for light workers and recovering intellectuals is listening to our body, not treating our body as a vehicle to take our brain from place to place, because it's all about the mind. So they're not saying that you have to fully embody in 3D, right? 3D is crazy. It has not been, it's not what we're here for, right? We're here to co-create 5D reality. We're here to embody our unique aspect of the divine in physical form. And so when I receive that reminder, it's easy for me to want to jump into my body, right? I'm not resistant to it the way I am if I think about embodying into 3D. So they want to say that we are a unique aspect of the divine. We like to think of it as one giant jewel, the biggest, shiniest jewel you can imagine. And each of us is a different facet on that one jewel. And of course, a facet of a diamond is a diamond. Of course, a facet of the one jewel that is the divine is divine. We are. And we are magnificently unique. So there is nobody else exactly like any of us anywhere in the entire cosmos. We are made by the divine, different from everyone else, for the joy, the pleasure, the expansion of experience life as each one of us. So the more we can let go of the gunk, let the angels dissolve the gunk for you. Thank you, angels, for dissolving gunk. The more we can show up as that amazing, shiny, full of gifts aspect of the divine. And it's so yummy to let that divine unconditional love flow through us. Nothing feels better to me.
It just feels so good just listening to you. I just feel like that felt really good. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I feel like I'm more grounded and more present just by your words and your frequency.
Yay.
So something that came through to me is when you're talking about writing your book, there were a lot of internal or emotional subconscious hurdles that you had to get through to get this book across the finish line. And I suspect that those are preparing you for your next. So what do you think your next is going to be?
The next book is all about relationships. So this first book is about receiving your divine guidance, feeling loved and supported by the angels, and being love for yourself first, which is huge, they want to say, for light workers, right? Light workers, most of us have done this for lifetime after lifetime. And we were in the old service paradigm, which was service through self-sacrifice and suffering, martyrdom, right? We just give and give and give until we have nothing left. So this book helps to reset that so that now we come from unconditional love for ourselves first, because then we don't need external validation. We can't be manipulated and controlled. We're in our power. And everything we do from that energy of being love is like supercharged. It's so much more potent than when we come from any other energy. So book 2 will build on that. And it's all about relationships with others, with yourself, and with the divine. So excited to play with that some more.
I love that. And it seems like, the next step, once you get this, then you can start going into all the connections you make with humans and maybe others elsewhere. So that's very exciting, Sue. I love this. Do you have any events, or can people connect with you? With your links below, what can people do outside of buying the book, My Angel Coach, which is delicious? What else can they do?
So we are about to release a new series of audios to clear blocks to money and abundance. So it's called Divine Abundance. You'll find a place on the website to sign up and be notified as soon as that's ready, which will be about a week or two. And we also are starting to do some retreats. So if you join our email list, you'll hear about all the good things. We have lots and lots of free stuff. So lots of articles you can read, audios, videos you can watch and listen to, and lots of different focuses, whether you're interested in learning more about maybe you're on a recovery journey. We have some content around that. We have all kinds of different things. So come and play and send us questions. We love to hear from you, the angels and I, and we do our best to answer every question that comes in still.
Well, I love that. I was posting your book in the chat in the comments below, so you can see that, and your website is below. I'll be sure to sign up for that. And hopefully listeners, you will too. Sue, this has been so nice to have this time with you and really hear about how the angels work through you and with you to illuminate the path for people that cross your path.
Oh, thank you. And the angels want to say they're always giving you guidance. You don't need special skills. You don't need anything. They speak your language. All you have to do is look around.
I love that. And I feel like many of us see that in numbers, invitations, connections, emails that cross our paths. We know we're not working alone. And I think this is such a great reminder of how angels work with us. So thank you so much, Sue. I look forward to staying connected, and hopefully I'll see you inside the Together We See community.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. And we look forward to seeing you here next time. Have a great week, and definitely look for your signs.